Hello, Merry Christmas. So I am Amy Martin, and I am here with the Galva Arts Council to do our fifth day, our final day of our Christmas read along series. I am in my PJs with my hot cocoa here because we are about to read The Polar Express. Which, of course, you have to be in your PJs drinking hot cocoa while you read it, right? It makes sense. I do apologize if I got some weird light going on here. This is a different time of day recording these, so I definitely got some sun blaring in on me, but that's okay. Sun is good. Okay, so like I said, we are going to read The Polar Express, and then we are going to make a cup of hot cocoa out of paper. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Actually, give me 1 second before I share my screen. Get it set and ready. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my phone again, like I did before. And let's hope, whoops, that's the hot cocoa one. Sorry, hold on. I clicked on the wrong thing. Here we go. Okay, let me make it big for us. There we go. And I'm going to make myself go away for a little bit. There it is. Okay. The Polar Express by Chris Van Allsburg. On Christmas Eve many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never hear, the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest, then looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard, the conductor cried out. I ran up to him. Well, he said, are you coming? Where? I asked. Why, to the North Pole, of course, was his answer. This is the Polar Express. I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed so high it seemed as if we had scraped the moon, but the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. The mountain turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. The North Pole, it was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the first gift? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves. Outside, we saw hundreds of elves. As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped and the conductor let us out. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magic sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and pointing to me, said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, "Now what would you like for Christmas?" I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from the reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood holding the bell high above him and called out, "The first gift of Christmas." A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared in the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see the bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I had lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. "Let's hurry outside and look for it," one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home. It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. "What?" I yelled. He cupped his hand around his mouth. "Merry Christmas," he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell, and it made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," said my father, "it's broken." When I had shaken the bell, my parents had not heard the sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe. So, my question to you, as I always ask my children when I read this book to them in class, is, hold on one second, I'm trying to get back to me, there we go, is, do you believe? And I hope you do. I hope you do. All right, so that is the beautiful story Polar Express. And now it is time for our craft. And I kind of gave you a preview already. So let's see here. Let me share my screen again so that you can see what it is we're going to make. I'll put myself back on. Let's see here. There I am. And here it is. So make a cup of hot cocoa. Now, I see that they use marshmallows here. I did not put that on the list just because I wasn't sure if everyone had marshmallows. I'm gonna actually just use a white crayon to make my marshmallows, or you could use, so I'm gonna use the white crayon. You could use white paper to cut them out, or you could use real marshmallows like they did here. My logic too on real marshmallows is I wanna eat them, not glue them, but anyways. Okay, so let's get started here. So let me come over here. Well, I'll leave that up for now. Okay, here we go. Get to full screen. All right, your supplies for today. So, of course, you need some glue. You need some crayons if you're gonna draw on those marshmallows or decorate your mug. You need a pencil, a pair of scissors, definitely brown paper because that's for the hot cocoa. Now, I put red on there. Really, this second color can be whatever color you want your mug to be, okay? I just went with red because it's a Christmas color, but you can do whatever you would like, all right? Okay, so let's get started. So first step is to draw our mug. So I'm gonna pull up our example again, right? Examples are good. Okay, so if you look at this, it's pretty close to almost a square with some added shapes on it. Do you see that? So I think we're gonna actually draw a square first, add the shapes, and then erase some lines. And I think that's gonna help us make exactly what we need to make, okay? So let's go back to my screen here so you can see what we're doing. Got your paper here. And I'm just gonna make square, rectangles, however you want it to look. I'm gonna make it a little bigger here. Once again, if you have like something that's shaped this size and you just wanna trace it, go for it. I am just freehand drawing it, so it's not perfect. I can see I'm a little off here. I'm gonna try to fix it maybe. But like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so I drew this just to kind of get what I needed set. Because I'm also gonna need a piece that looks like this. Okay, which means I'm gonna erase this. So I don't really need that line. It was just there to guide me. And I'm gonna try to make this come down a little bit better. Hold on here. It's still sticking out, isn't it? That was probably even more than before. Hold on. As always, though, it doesn't have to be perfect. There, so that's just a little better, I feel. Okay. So there you go, right? And then you also need a little curve up here. It comes out this way. And I'm gonna erase this. Okay. And then do a straight line here and another curve in here. Okay, I think that's starting to look like a mug. Now, let's go ahead at this step and let's cut out the shape that we drew. Okay, I'm gonna show it here too so you can see it. Well, I don't know how well you're gonna see it. The light's being a little funky in my window, isn't it? Hopefully you can see that pretty well. Okay, so go ahead and cut out your mug. I'm just cutting on all my outer lines here. Best I can do. Got a little funky on my cut there by the handle, but that's all right. All right, here it is, cut out. So now you have a choice here on this handle. Do you want to cut this inner part out? I'm gonna do it just so it looks a little more like a coffee mug, but you do not have to if you don't want to. You can just leave it there drawn with the pencil, okay? So best way to get at this, if you remember yesterday how we kind of did a little fold when we cut, but we didn't really fold, we just bent it. That's what I would do and start your cut, okay? Open it back up and then very carefully slide your scissors in the hole there and make just little cuts until you can get around and get your scissors in a little better. All right, you gotta be very careful. Go slow. You don't need to go fast here. If you go slow and you're careful, you'll get it. Okay, almost there. All right, there we go. Now I have an actual handle for my cocoa. I almost said coffee because, you know, I drink coffee and cocoa. But all right, so there we go. So now comes the brown paper because we want, and I'm gonna kind of put this here for a second. We want the cocoa to show, right? The cocoa is gonna show in this little piece here, okay? I'm gonna use this just to give me a template. I know I need to cut it pretty much this way, so I'm just gonna trace this. Oh, come on now. There you go. Okay. And I don't want to go. I'm trying to see where my line was that I drew. So that kind of gave me my curve. And then I'm going to try to draw across here the best I can. There we go. That piece right there is what I need to cut out to show the hot cocoa. So that is what I'm going to do. Here I am just cutting it out. Okay. I see some pencil mark there, so as always, remember our trick. Well, I guess maybe we won't do that because I can't. It'll be fine. Okay, so this is gonna get glued down. You're gonna try not, your goal is not to see the red that's up there. Okay, you're covering it up because that's your hot cocoa, okay? All right, so before I glue it down, just because I know glue can make paper funky, I'm gonna get my white crayon, and this is where you can either glue, if you're gonna glue marshmallows on it, I would say glue the brown part down first, then glue your marshmallows on. Or if you're gonna glue paper, you could do that. So you could still glue the brown down then the paper. But because I'm gonna use a crayon, I know when I put glue underneath things, it can get bumpy and funky. So I'm gonna draw my marshmallows first and then glue down my brown, okay? So marshmallows are really just blue, or not blue, listen to me, white, white circles, right? So I'm just gonna put a bunch of white circles around in my coffee, or my coffee, I keep wanting to say coffee, I'm sorry guys, my hot cocoa, I'm being a little purposeful on where I'm placing them. You don't need to be like that. You can just put them wherever you would like them. Okay, here we go. There's some marshmallows. Okay, get my glue here. And we're gonna glue this down. Hold on. I was not smart. I kind of left my glue bottle open last night, so let's hope it works. Hope you guys know that that's a big no-no. That's how you get your glue to dry, which is what's happened right now. Here we go though. I got it. Okay. So, little dabs will do ya. There you go, right? Okay, turn them. Line them up. So you don't see your red. down. Extra glue there. Okay. So you could be done at this step if you want to, or you can decorate your mug. Okay. I know this isn't showing the best. We have a sunny day today, which is making it kind of hard. There we go. All right, so there's our mug of hot cocoa. Like I said, you could say all done, or you could make a decoration on your cup. So I think, let's see here, in honor of Christmas Day, I'm just gonna keep it simple. Little triangle Christmas tree here. Get my brown crayon, make a trunk. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. What else? I could do like some presents. A present. I'm not a very good drawer, so I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. I think I'm just going to put some different boxes here for presents all around the tree. I went with orange. I guess we'll do a blue here. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of colors that will show up on what I've got. Maybe this kind of nifty purple here. It kind of shows up. There we go. I got a Christmas tree. I got some presents. Oh, there we go. Maybe you could put a little star at the top of your tree. Like I said, you don't have to draw a tree and presents. You draw whatever you want to decorate it. So here is my cool Christmas mug. Maybe you put a Santa on there, maybe a snowman, whatever you want to put on your mug. All right, but there we go. Here's my hot cocoa. Yum, 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 yum. Very tasty. All right, so I think we are good with our hot cocoa. So let me stop sharing. I have this sad news that today was the last one. Oh, today was the last one. But I do want to remind you, let me pull up our schedule. So in case you missed any of these, okay, you can go to either our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, and you can find all of these to watch at any time you would like, okay? These are all available right now, okay? So if you miss one, you can find it there. Not only do we have these lovely Christmas read-alongs, but this, well, no, it was spring. I was gonna say summer, but it was kind of spring if I remember correctly. We did a three-week long read-along series that are all also on the Facebook page and YouTube. Now, to find it on Facebook, you're gonna be having to scroll, but YouTube's probably your easiest way. Just go to YouTube, type in Galva Arts Council in the search box, and they will all pull up for you, okay? So there is, right now we got basically a whole month's worth, 4 weeks, 4 weeks worth of read-alongs with a craft, okay? So please check it out if you haven't already. We are just so happy to be able to share this with you and to be able to become very creative in this new world we live in, where we can still give something to our community. So thank you very, very much. As always, please remember this is a free thing. All 4 weeks are free, guys. They're free. So if you would like to donate to the Galva Arts Council, please go either to our Facebook page and click on the donate button, or you could always send a donation to our, to send in the mail. Old-fashioned way, right? You can always send it in the mail. All right, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And we will see you again sometime soon. Bye, everyone. Merry Christmas.